Live, it's Subway Series week, biggest day of the entire year, Mike Merlo, and we are so pumped to be here. Loaded show today, but we're sticking only Mets and Yanks. I'm Kevin Bunk, Mike Merlo with me. You can see us every Tuesday live on Instagram and YouTube, 11 a.m. Episodes also out on Spotify before 1 o'clock every Tuesday. This is the best way to kick off your Subway Series week. Today and tomorrow at Citi Field, we got a surging Mets team. We thought we were going to have no energy 3 weeks ago for this two-game set, but the Yankees still the best team in baseball. The Mets surging to an NL wildcard spot. We got trivia today. We are doing an all-time draft since 1998. So basically our lifetime's draft, but that is when the Subway Series started. That's when the interleague play started. So we decided to do an all-time Subway Series draft. We have Subway Series-related trivia. Mike, how you feel today on the morning of the first Subway Series game?
I'm feeling absolutely great, Kevin. I can't believe that coming into this game here, the team that's playing the best ball and for a long period of time, 2 weeks, more than a week, is the Mets. I absolutely can't believe it. If you asked me this 2-3 weeks ago, I would have told you. Like you mentioned, there's no juice. It's just going to be, I think you said it last week, a Citi Field filled with Yankee fans. I don't think that's going to be the case this week. Now, there's a lot to go over because the Mets, they lose Diaz, a couple of injuries on both sides this past week, which are major. So we're going to talk about that. But, the Yankees kind of come limping in here, and the Mets, who are down a couple of players coming in, they're playing their best ball of the year.
Let's start with the Edwin Diaz situation from this past weekend, and we're going to try to not spend too much time on the last few days. We're going to really hammer the next 2 days of Yankees and Mets baseball. Edwin Diaz, what do you make of this situation? And I'll just say my overall takeaway from it is, how does the MLB not have a firm set of guidelines when it comes to sticky stuff and suspensions and what is legal, what is not?
Kevin, I came to this conclusion last night, okay? If the umpire feels the hand of a pitcher, right, and he says, that's way too sticky, I can't tell you what that is, but it's sticky, and he can throw him out of the game, that is fine. I'm honestly okay with that because it's a judgment call. It's bang, bang, right? You don't know what it is. But to automatically give a pitcher a 10-game suspension after that without knowing if there is an illegal or legal substance on his hand is mind-boggling to me. They have to change this because, like for the Mets case, they lose their closer for 10 days. That's not some small deal. And they can't replace him on the roster. So if they're able to test exactly what was on his hand after the game and then determine whether or not he should be suspended 10 games, I'm completely okay with that. But are you kidding me? This guy's suspended 10 games now, and we don't know. It's just the umpire's judgment of a call in the middle of the summer in Chicago. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is a bad problem for baseball. It hasn't happened too often to the point where it feels like it's becoming concerning. But the guy, what does he have? Dirt and rosin on his hand, and I wouldn't be shocked if he does it every time he pitches. I believe him when he says that he does it every time he pitches, and it's subjective. It's a judgment call from the umpire, as you said, and this was this umpire making his judgment and saying that's too sticky. But it frustrates me.
Yes, I think it's terrible.
I think sticky stuff to a pretty far extent should be legal, and none of it is, it feels at this point. But for Diaz, this is just a brutal bump in a rocky season for him because it hasn't been going well, and now this 10-day suspension which is also coming at a huge time. Let's not rule that out. Yeah. So coming at the biggest time of the year for the Mets, they're playing great, and Diaz gets a 10-game suspension. His season has been a disaster.
Well, you know what? He's been pitching better. So what sucks is he was finally getting on a roll here. His last couple of outings were really good. He looked very sharp, and now this comes. So you have him not pitching a lot. Well, he was hurt. Then he really wasn't pitching because the Mets, when they were winning, were blowing teams out. And then now this 10 games. It is, for a season that looked like it was going back to a good point, it stinks that now he has to deal with this.
How do you feel overall about the team? 2 games under 500. You have 2 days here against the Yankees to try and get back to 500. How do you feel about the status of the Mets right now in the middle of June?
I feel good. Marte's probably going to go on the IL. He's been dealing with a bum knee. I feel good. You know, I saw this on Twitter this morning, and it's actually true. They're not getting crazy performances from a bunch of different people. They're just having their best players now start to play to the back of their baseball card. Lindor heating up and playing well. Nimmo has been hot the last 2 weeks. So they're getting the production they needed out of their top guys. And if that continues, then this is not something that's not sustainable. They could sustain the success as long as their guys continue to play as everybody expects them to perform. I feel good about the team. Severino had a gutty outing. I was so impressed with Severino on Sunday night. One of the best performances of the year from a starting pitcher for the Mets. Just really impressed with Severino, and I feel good about this team, Kevin. I do. I'm starting to believe, like seriously believe.
I think you should. I love their chances in this 2-game set, at least to split it. I think they're going to win one. I'd be shocked if they didn't. And I think they got a chance to win both. Peterson and Manaea on the mound for the Mets. Yankees struggle against left-handed pitchers, especially crappy lefties for some reason. They struggle. So this is perfect for the Mets.
This is perfect.
It's perfect. And it feels, look at the Yankees lineup, man. It feels like the way Soto's been playing the last 3 weeks, you only have to get past Judge.
No, he loves the stadium and he loves the team. He will heat up right here. Don't you worry.
No Stanton. That was a big injury for the Yankees. He got hurt running, just violently running around third base. Such a great athlete. And hurt, you saw it. You see him pull up after that first step after third, and you realize he's never going to play baseball again. And
he was having such a good year, man. He was really having a good year.
This throws a wrench in it because Stanton is the kind of guy, too, that he's so streaky and he's so inconsistent sometimes that a stint like this on the IL will probably miss a month. I think we'll see him maybe the first game after the All-Star break. They'll play it safe with him, but he might just stink after that because that's how he is.
Yeah, no, he was. I was looking at the All-Star voting, and the Yankee fans have come out voting, really well.
Of course.
And I'm like, he's second. And then I looked yesterday. I was like, he really is having like a fantastic year. Because when like you look at some veterans on the back end of their career and you're like, oh, they had an all-star appearance. They had like either it was just a great first half or wow, that was a good season in the back half of their career. Like Stanton was having one of those seasons where he's on the back end. He had a terrible year in 23. Really good year from Stanton. It stinks to see because now the holes in this lineup are just being completely exposed. Verdugo's been ice cold. So yeah, you look at the Yankee lineup right now with guys like Verdugo playing the way he is and the injuries that they have, and you say you can pitch to this lineup, man. Just don't pitch to Aaron Judge.
I tell you what, the biggest takeaway from the entire weekend is around baseball, at least around the American League. How about Houston? Houston's a huge problem for the Yankees and Orioles now because you have the experienced team that's been a thorn in everybody's side for the last half decade plus. And the Orioles come out and handle the Yankees in a 3-game series. They win the second game, was a great close game in extra innings, and they blow them out in the third game with Luis Gil on the mound. So you felt like they handled them, even though the Yankees had a loss. A close loss, a win, and a blowout loss. I thought the Orioles dominated them. And then the Orioles go down to Houston, and they get smoked for the entire weekend. And they're in the same spot now as far as ground in the standings as they were when the Yankees-Orioles series ended. They're actually further back from the Yankees than when that series ended.
You know what's funny? Houston's a streaky team. They're a very streaky team. They're getting guys back. I understand that they've been banged up all year. They're streaky, so we don't know how they're going to finish. I think they're 6 games out of the division right now. But either way, Kevin, I texted you after the Orioles blew the lead in the second game. I was at the first game. I thought the Orioles played like crap, very sloppy. I didn't think the Yankees did anything special in that game. I thought it was more the Orioles not playing well in that first win. And then the Orioles blow the lead, and I texted you. I said, these guys are not ready to compete with the Yankees at this stage. And boy, was I wrong. They come back. They have the big win, a resilient win in that second game of the series, and then blow them out in the third. Yeah, they're ready, and they're here. But then they have a terrible weekend. And now, Kevin, they lose yesterday to the Guardians. The Guardians have a better record than Baltimore. it's very interesting the way they might be a streaky team too. They're young. They got to figure it out. They've had injuries to that pitching staff. The Orioles, more so than the Yankees, I think, need to add more at the deadline.
I think so too. I think the Yankees fans will overreact more about the holes, but I do think where they're stronger, they're better. And Baltimore has, listen, I'm not going to go into this postseason until they prove otherwise. I'm not saying they can't do it, but I'm not going to go into the postseason and say the Orioles are world beaters after the only time I've ever seen them there. They got swept at home. I can't for sure say Gunnar and Adley are going to be playoff monsters and they're going to be out. I heard a lot of Astros and Orioles are the same team. I had friends saying this. I had on Twitter, Yankees fans saying this all over. Orioles are the new Astros for the Yankees. Jose Altuve is one of the greatest postseason players of all time. Alex Bregman is a great postseason player. Carlos Correa was. George Springer was. Yordan Alvarez is probably 2 years ago a better hitter than anyone on Baltimore. And Gunner's great, but Alvarez was a monster. So, no, they're not the new Astros yet. You got to win some games in the playoffs and show me you can perform in the playoffs and pitch in the playoffs to be the new Astros. So this Orioles team, there's stuff to fill, and we saw it this weekend against Houston. They are not, I don't want to say they're not ready, but they're not at their full capacity of this is as good as they can be.
No, they're going to be a lot better. And I understand the comparisons to the Astros, but yeah, on a more serious level in the postseason, not many teams we've ever seen the postseason success and the consistency in the postseason. When's the last time we really saw that? I mean, not necessarily winning it, but getting to the ALCS and having the success that their star players have had. That it's very rare.
It was the Dynasty Yankees. That was the last time, was the Dynasty Yankees. And then before that, you got to go a while to find another team.
The Yankees just won the World Series more often.
Yeah, but Houston had the guys. The same. Altuve was Jeter. Mm-hmm. You had Correa or Springer. Whoever you want to pick was Bernie. You had the Posada with whatever third guy you want to pick. And you had great veteran starters. Verlander. They had Cole, Greinke, and then Valdez is great. They had Urquidy. They got a loaded pitching staff every year. Good bullpen. Kyle Tucker is an MVP. I mean, this is a team that I call them a dynasty. I know they only won 2, but would they go to 4 and win
7 straight ALCS?
Seven straight ALCS appearances. That's a dynasty. That's a dynasty. It could be. They're going to win that division, man. 5.5 games back of Seattle. Seattle doesn't play like they wanted every night. Houston's going to go on a run, probably within the next 6 weeks. That'll put them within a game and a half, or even in first place. And then they're going to have a trade deadline that's going to propel them over the top. They're going to be the 2 seed or the 3 seed in the AL.
Yeah, I've said for a while that they're going to win this division. I still think that. And it didn't look good last week, but it looks a lot better now. Only 5.5 games back. They're a tough out.
JM on Instagram, good call. 2010-14 Giants were actually, I totally skipped past them because I was locked in on American League. They had the run.
Yeah, but did they have the players? Did they have the core? And I'm asking because I watched this crazy video on TikTok yesterday of every out of the 2014 Game 7 World Series. And I'm looking at the players on this team. And like, that's prime baseball, nerd stuff for us. Like, we know every player. We're playing the video game, right? And I'm sitting there saying, wait, who's that again? And who's that again? Did they have the core group of players that the 98 Yankees had, and these the 90s Yankees had, and these Astros, did they have those kind of players?
They had the pitchers. I don't think they had the position players because Melky Cabrera was one of their best position players, and he had a great year in 2012 at 346, but Melky really doesn't stack up with the rest of those guys. Posey, of course, does. Brandon Crawford, maybe you can make a case, but he wasn't great then. He was one of their worst hitters when they were winning titles. He was just a great shortstop. Pablo Sandoval was very good. Hunter Pence was very good.
Yeah. Angel
Pagan was very good. Shout out Mets.
Good Met.
Brandon Belt was good. Good young first baseman. This is a great team. Obviously, it's a great team. But you might be right. It might not stack up with the teams of the Yankees dynasty and this Astros group.
But the dominance of the winning the championships, getting there and winning, yeah, you have to put them up there with those teams. 100%.
But then you're sending out Lincecum, Mad Bum every day. That's a better 1-2 than Yankees or Astros ever had.
Yeah.
And Brian Wilson was a great closer for them.
They also went through a couple of closers, though. What was
They
it?
did.
Romo in the
Romo.
second. It was Wilson in the first, and then it was Bumgarner in the last.
Yeah. Yep. No, that was a good team. But that's it. That's an interesting conversation that we won't really go too far into today. But who would win out of those three dynasties of the modern era? Who would win in 7-game series against each other?
Let's page that. Let's put a note there, and we'll go back. That's a great question.
Yankees would smoke all of them, but who would win? Who would win the Astros? I genuinely do believe, maybe it's because I'm biased, call me out if I am, I genuinely believe that Yankees team was way better than both of those teams.
Which Yankee? 98.
Yeah, 98. Just that group. 98
okay.
though. 98 or 2000. Take your pick.
Okay.
Even, I mean, like, some of the teams that the Yankees didn't win the World Series with, 2003, 2004, they had loaded teams also.
Yeah.
They lost in the World Series in 2003. They had the 3-0 collapse in 2004. But those teams were maybe better also. Just a great run. We'll talk about that later when we do the Subway Series all-time draft, 1998 to now, Mets and Yankees. We're going to do that just in a few minutes. But for this 2-game set, Mike, what are you looking for out of each team?
The Yankees getting some consistency at the bottom of the lineup. Guys like Soto, guys like Verdugo breaking out of these slumps. They're going to, right? Soto's not going to hit 100 over a week span, in 6 big games. He's not going to hit 100. He's not going to have that. Guys, a guy that's going to break out of whatever slump he's in, his year-long slump, Trent Grisham. I will say this, okay? I will put money on Trent Grisham to hit a home run in these next 2 games. I promise you he hits a home run in these next 2 games.
And he's going to play in both of them because Stanton's out. I don't think you know what, though? Boone might run Jahmai Jones out instead of Grisham because Boone doesn't look at splits and he doesn't realize that Jones sucks against lefties even though he's a righty, and he just likes to put righty-lefty matchup out. But I really can't complain because Grisham just sucks against everyone too. So
you're going to say Grisham hit a home run over the weekend, okay? You're going to sit here after these 2 games, if Grisham plays in both, and say, maybe not you, but some Yankee fans will say, oh, Grisham, he might not be a bad replacement for Stanton for this next 3 weeks here. I promise you that will be said when Grisham has a good week here. I promise you.
I do think Grisham, part of his slump is as the 4th outfielder on this team where Verdugo, Judge, and Soto play every single day, and they're relatively durable. It's really tough to get any rhythm going. He is traditionally a 215 hitter and a good glove in the outfield. He's a starter. He's not one of the, how many teams are there? 30 teams. He's not one of the, outside of the top 90 outfielders in the league. He's not. So Grisham is in a tough spot with those 3 guys in front of him because how can you justify putting him in the lineup?
Yeah. No, and this is also, I know you're losing Stanton, you're losing a big bat in that lineup, but I love the fact that you can rest Judge's legs a couple times a week now here. I absolutely love that, keeping him fresh.
I think Soto, too, will benefit from some DH, but even if Judge isn't DHing, you can put him back in right now. You can put Grisham in center and put right field versus center field. The risk for injury and the risk for just fatigue is so much lower in right field than center field. So you're right. That is going to pay dividends here. And I mean, Judge having the best season of his career right now, which is insane to say after what we watched 2 years ago. But Judge is having the best year of his career right now, and we're on June 25th, and you got to get him some rest, and that is a benefit of Stanton being out.
Also, let me say this in terms of the Mets side of things here. Their bullpen has been really strong in June after having one of the worst Mays a bullpen could ever have. They've been good since June started. Now let's see what happens. You're going to be without Diaz again. They were without Diaz for a little part of the first week or so in June. Let's see how the closer by committee role goes. You lose Sean Reed Foley. There's a lot of guys down in this bullpen right now. So it's going to be, I think they're going to end up moving McGill to the bullpen here and bringing up Scott or Buto. They're going to have to do that anyway because they're going to go to a 6-man. But I think they come up early. They move McGill to the bullpen, get some length and also some power in that bullpen to replace Diaz for a week. It's going to be tough to get. I think this is a really bad stretch here, like you mentioned before, to lose so many bullpen arms.
Did you mention a few weeks ago that McGill should be going to the bullpen anyways? Did we talk about that here? I'm trying to think of who I spoke about.
We didn't, but I love to take the credit for it because it's probably going to happen now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of someone saying they got to move one of these starters back to the pen. Can't remember it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. You're right. They do. And working without Diaz is going to get difficult because it is, I think, unfair, the suspension. I know you're penalizing a player. I know that they're doing something illegal in the eyes of the league, but why can't you pull up someone to replace his spot for 10 days? And also, how lame and unserious is a 10-day paid suspension by Major League Baseball? It feels like you don't even really care that much about what's at stake here with sticky stuff. And I don't think there's anything at stake here.
It's tough. It's a really tough loss right now. And again, for you to just put all the power, I don't want to talk about it again, but in the power of the umpire to suspend a guy for 10 games when you don't know for sure what is on his hands, it's absolutely mind-boggling to me.
Is it 10 games or 10 days?
It's 10 games.
It's 10 games, right?
July 6th.
And then the Mets, it's a tough week for the Mets because they host the Astros right after the Yankees. So I think they get a day off Thursday, and then they host the Astros. So they got a tough week without Diaz. That's brutal. I will say it'll be interesting to see how Mendoza deals with it, just as I think we both have not wavered in our support for Mendoza throughout the season. The hard times, Mike, we've stood with Carlos Mendoza, you and I.
We're still there.
So I'd like to see how he deals with this because he can get creative. It's important for them to resupply the closer role and resupply their biggest bullpen arm. So we'll see how Mendoza deals with it. And we'll also start to get a gauge of who is actually tradable in the Mets bullpen because someone's going to get some high leverage spots over the next 10 games that they wouldn't normally get. And maybe you find somebody that's tradable and you can get a piece for. Now, this conversation came up this past week, and then we'll start moving into our festivities for the Subway Series, trivia, draft. Keep talking about it, of course. But this sellers-buyers conversation has come up for the Mets. Where are you at with that? Would you sell the one-year contracts of pitchers like Severino, or would you hold on to those guys, add some depth pieces that don't cost much, and try and make a run at the playoffs?
Yeah, I think I read an article this morning. I forget who it was from, but they mentioned that they don't believe Stearns would try and thread the needle like he's done in the past in Milwaukee, because according to people in Milwaukee, when he traded Hader, that broke up the clubhouse big time, almost a full-blown collapse, blow up in that clubhouse. You can't be serious about making the playoffs and trading a guy like Luis Severino. So if you're in it, if you're continuing to play well, you're over 500, you're a game out, you hold a wild card spot, I think they're going to believe, because again, it's not like you're getting crazy, irrational performances. You're getting guys playing to the back of their baseball card. Some of them not even to the back of their baseball card yet. So I think this is sustainable in terms of their offense. I think you could see them possibly add a couple of relief pitchers, nothing crazy at the deadline, and just kind of stay pat. Right now, if I gun to my head, you have to do that, right?
Have to. Yeah, I think so. I think the worst thing you can do is, after last offseason or last trade deadline, you acquired young farm system talent. I'm never opposed to acquiring more, and especially if a team calls up and the deal is so right for one of those guys. But is Luis Severino not a guy you want to re-sign at the end of the year?
He might be a guy I want to re-sign.
I think he might be a guy I want to bring back on a cheap deal. He seems to have a great relationship with Mendoza. Did you see what Gleyber Torres said about Carlos Mendoza?
Oh, he loves, yes, I read that article. He loves Mendoza.
So, first of all, that's your future second baseman next year. Sorry. Second, that shows you the relationship that the Yankees had with Mendoza in the clubhouse that maybe they didn't have with Aaron Boone, which is not a bad thing for Boone, but there's always just that assistant coach, that position coach that gets along with the players and really connects with the players on a level that the manager can't, because the manager has so much stuff to deal with and so much going on, so many meetings with the media, with the front office, ownership. So an assistant coach always has to take that role. And Mendoza seems to be a coach that is just beloved by the guys that he coached in New York.
Yeah.
And with the Yankees, obviously, not with the
Mendoza. Again, we mentioned it, the support. How about Mendoza coming out national TV in Chicago? Severino has a 12-pitch battle with Bellinger with guys on base, and he throws a perfect pitch on the outside corner, 98, blows it right by Bellinger. He's at 100 pitches. Mendoza comes out to take him out, and Severino pleads his case. I want this last guy. And he gets him. Unbelievable. It's happened before, right, this season with Mendoza, where he comes out to get his guy, and he has the faith in his players to get that big out, to finish that inning. And he did it. He got through 6. I absolutely love that about Mendoza. It's not, listen, you want your manager to always be prepared. You want all the numbers in front of you, right? And we're talking analytics here. You want you want your manager to be completely prepared. But you also want that gut instinct. And I think Mendoza has that perfect mix of, well, we have to be smart, and I have a gut feeling, and I trust my guys.
Absolutely. I love Mendoza, and I love the possibility of him being the Mets manager for the next 4 or 5 years and seeing what he can do with this group, because he does feel like a great leader in terms of Major League Baseball manager, which I think can sometimes be a position that's difficult to be that leader, because I feel like a Major League manager can only do so much.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're loved by the players, when you trust the players, it could go a long way. And that could be the type of thing where we talk about all the time, different angles of free agency and getting players. Could be the type of thing where word of mouth among players spreads and they say, I want to go play for Carlos Mendoza. He sounds like a guy that believes in his players and that his players love.
Kevin, Met manager is not an easy job. It's not.
Very hard job.
You're under a lot. I was talking to Tim Healy last week, and I was talking about Mendoza. It's not an easy job. You're under a lot of scrutiny. You have a big-time owner now. You know, you're in the shadow of the Yankees, yes, but you're also being watched a little bit because you are the competition in the city towards the Yankees. It's a really difficult job, and I think he's handled it very well through the ups and the downs.
5 games into his tenure as Mets head coach, fans were ready to burn him at the stake in the Citi Field parking lot. I mean, it was bad. It is a tough job, man. And I don't think that when these New York coaching jobs open, I don't want to speak for all the teams, because there definitely are some with incredible attraction, but I don't know if these jobs are really appealing, because you're going to get destroyed. I mean, look at the football coaches, right? Brian Daboll has a playoff win and then a rough season where just no one stayed healthy. He had 3 different quarterbacks, everyone getting hurt. Any other city, I don't think we'd question his job status. But here, people wanted him fired at the end of the season. Yeah, Robert Saleh, who certainly has not done a good job, 4 years, no postseason appearances, or is it 4 years or 3 years? I don't even know anymore. It's felt like a lifetime. But
it's 4.
It's 4, right? No, because it's 3. Because he was Wilson's. Him and Wilson came at the same time. Zach Wilson. So he's done 3 years, but it really has felt longer, which is incredible concern and problem. But imagine the injuries if he was doing this in Arizona and they had all those injuries and the best defense in the league. You'd be like, well, what can he do? I mean, everybody's hurt. We would just write it off so quickly, and we wouldn't really look too much into the job he's done. Yeah. Here, every single day of training camp, in baseball, spring training, the offseason, winter meetings, everything gets so analyzed and picked apart. It's an impossible job to succeed in, because you could win the World Series, and then the next year, by June, fans want you done because you're a game under 500.
What's Aaron Boone's winning percentage? Fans want him out every day.
I think he has the highest winning percentage in Yankees history.
It's crazy. And I'm sitting there saying, all he does is win. I think he's beloved. Those guys respect the hell out of Aaron Boone. And fans want him run out of town every other week. I don't understand it.
They love Boone, the players.
I think they do like Boone.
All right, you want to move to trivia here?
Let's move to some trivia, Kevin.
Let's move to some
Very
trivia.
exciting trivia.
So we did introduce the trivia segment last week. Last week's question, and you can check out our full segment on Instagram or TikTok. It was most home runs, top 5 home runs for players hit against the Mets. So top 5 players in home runs hit against the Mets since 2000, which is Mike's lifetime, but that's usually the baseline we try to use, 2000. Today, we're doing Subway Series trivia, which really goes back to 1998. And after this, we're drafting our Subway Series all-time team, which, of course, does go back to 1998. So, Mike, what do you got today? Trivia.
Kevin, the most RBIs in Subway Series history. We'll see how this list lines up. We'll see how quickly you get this. Maybe if you get it quickly, we'll do top 5 of one of the other teams. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. But, Kevin, take it away. Top 5 most RBIs in Subway Series history.
All right, so I immediately have to go to, in Subway Series since 98, who's played the most games? So I go Jeter right away.
Jeter's 1.
Okay, of course he is. I mean, it's my guy. Jeter's 1. I'll swing Bernie Williams in there too, even though he didn't play as long against the Mets.
Bernie Williams is not there.
Okay. David Wright?
David Wright is 3 on the list.
All right.
So you got 1 and 3.
A-Rod?
A-Rod's number 2.
Of course.
39 RBIs.
Yankees
Jeter had
2.
40. Jeter had 44, and Wright had 35.
Jeter. I already guessed Jeter, Bernie, A-Rod, David Wright.
You need 4 and 5.
Posada.
No Posada. He's
okay.
30. He has 31 RBIs. He's right there.
I'm trying to think of some Mets, but you guys stink. Did Piazza? He would have had to do some serious damage. He can't be on the list.
No, he only played 38 games against them.
Yeah.
He had 25 RBIs in those 38 games, but yeah, just not enough time.
Oh man,
yeah, he really did. He really hit the Yankees well. I mean, 25 RBIs, 38 games.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
All right. Teixeira.
2 Yankees. Yep. Teixeira's 5. One more.
Are they playing right now?
No, not in the majors.
No. Okay.
It's a Yankee.
Am I gonna be pissed that it's taken me this long to get him?
Yes. It's your guy. One of your guys.
What?
Childhood. You're watching this guy.
Brett Gardner?
No. But I'm looking at all-time WAR Yankees since '98, and Brett Gardner's like 7 on the list. I'm like,
yeah, he played so many games.
I know.
I think he's 3rd in hits since 2000 for the Yankees.
Crazy.
Cano?
Cano. 4.
Yeah, why didn't I get that earlier? Sorry, what was your second part of this?
I was gonna say if you want to do the Mets top 5, if you could guess the Mets top 5.
Oh yeah, I'll try Mets top 5.
You have 1 and 3, so you're missing 2, 4, and 5.
Wait, who's Wright and Piazza?
Right, and then Piazza's 3.
Reyes
is 2.
Let's go. So Wright, Reyes, Piazza.
So 4, 5. One's current, one's not.
Nimmo?
No Nimmo.
Alonso?
Alonso's 4. Then one guy a while ago. On one of the good teams.
On one of the good Beltran?
No.
Oh.
That team.
Oh Lord.
It's his birthday today.
Dude, that doesn't help me.
I know it doesn't.
It's his birthday today? Who cares?
I do. I saw it on Twitter this morning.
Dude, this is a problem. I'm drawing a total blank on that team.
It's not crazy that you wouldn't get it. I'll tell you. It's
right,
Delgado.
Oh, okay, Delgado. Yeah, I should have got that though if I was thinking about that team.
Delgado's birthday today. Happy birthday, Carlos Delgado.
He
19
5
RBIs
on that
in
list?
16 games. Yeah, 5. And then Beltran 6.
All right, so we'll move into our all-time draft. I'll be totally honest with the audience here, which we have a sizable one today. So thank you, everybody on Instagram and YouTube for tuning in. We haven't totally discussed how we want to do this yet.
I didn't even know it was a draft. So this is
it's a draft, dude. It's a draft.
All right,
and it's a draft, and what we're going to do is we're going to post the 2 teams on Instagram, and you guys vote whose team is better. And then this is how we'll do it. We're going to introduce a draft segment every week. They'll usually be way smaller than this one, but whoever wins gets first pick next week. We'll do. So whoever
Sounds
gets
good.
the most votes on Instagram will get the first pick in next week's draft. All right. So do we want to do a full starting pitching rotation? Because I can do one. Or do you want to do like one or two? I know I said one or two before.
Let's do 3 guys.
Okay. 3 starting pitchers and a closer.
Okay.
Do you want to go first and we'll just do every other pick? Or do you want to do
That's
one person
fine.
goes first and then someone gets back-to-backs?
No, do every other. You
All
can
right,
go
every
first.
other. Oh, thanks, Mike.
You go first. I want you to take your guy.
And, oh, man. I'm going to take my guy. Best player on the Yankees or Mets since 1998. Aaron Judge. Left fielder, though. He's going to play left field because he played left field last week. Only game of his career. Aaron Judge is my first pick.
I thought you were going to take Jeter.
No.
I'm going to take Jeter. I'm going to put Jeter at short. I thought you were taking Jeter. That's why I was take your guy.
I'm taking Judge.
All right.
I think
it's a good
what
pick.
Judge is doing right now, man.
He's better.
This is unprecedented, what Judge is doing. My second pick's going to be A-Rod to be my third baseman.
I love it. All right, my second baseman is going to be Robinson Cano because I could have gone Edgardo Alfonso for the Mets, excuse me, but Cano, like the gap with Cano there, I want Cano at second.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, Cano's just way better than everyone else. Let's see. I'm gonna take. This is tough. There's some good arguments on this entire.
You're gonna steal my guy.
Thing.
Are we throwing pitchers into this draft? Right?
Yeah, pitchers are in this draft. 3 pitchers per team. Like, I'm going to just have an open dialogue here.
Yeah,
how significant of the gap really is Piazza versus Posada for this? I think it's pretty big.
I mean, I think it is too because I almost went with my guy there.
I'm taking Piazza here.
All right.
Because I think he's just way better than Posada. Way better. And Posada was good, but very good. But Piazza's all time.
Yeah. All right. Stole my pick there.
Sorry,
all right, I'm going to take DeGrom. I'm going to take my guy, DeGrom. DeGrom is one of the most dominant pitchers I ever saw. If I'm going to die, unless I win a baseball game, I want Jacob DeGrom pitching. So DeGrom is my first starting pitcher.
Let's go, man. All right, I'm taking to be a right fielder. I'm taking Soto.
Wow. I wasn't gonna add Soto here. I wasn't. So there you go.
Yeah, Soto's my right fielder.
All righty. My center fielder is going to be Carlos Beltran.
Now that I know you were going to take Soto, I should have taken him because I was going to take him next pick.
I thought you were going to take Beltran before you took Piazza.
All right.
I still need a right fielder.
I feel like the Yankees pitching is so subpar in this era for an all-time draft, for a 26-year draft, so I'm taking Cole here.
Yeah. There's one guy I'm looking at, so before you take him, so you take Cole, I'm taking CC.
All right, I'm taking Mariano here.
There you go. I'm loading up my starting pitching there. All right. Left field. Give me Bernie.
Damn, dude. Come on. Sorry. That was my next pick.
I'm sorry. I need Bernie there.
Oh, I need a center fielder. Damn.
I'm sticking Bernie in left, too.
What outfielders do you have? Bernie
I have
and
left
Beltran?
and center. Yeah.
Damn. That's a huge loss. Huge loss for our team, man. Let me see something quick.
So who do you have right now? You don't have a shortstop yet.
No, I don't. Let me see something.
Nick Swisher also had a really nice career for the Yankees, man.
He's on my list of potential players. I'm taking David Wright to be my designated hitter.
Damn it. Are you kidding me? Now I'm without a third baseman?
Get ready to learn DJ LeMahieu, buddy.
Oh my God. Damn it. Oh, that's brutal. All right. How about in right field? Let's put the Grandy man out there. Played for both.
Good pull. Good pull.
We'll take Granderson. Put him in right field.
All right, so what do I need here? I need first base, shortstop, second base, 2 more pitchers.
And I need a
And I need
DH.
a fielder.
I need a DH, a reliever, a starter, a catcher, and a first baseman. And a third baseman. Third base. You're taking right to play DH.
Yeah, that's a sick pull, man.
Oh, God, that's terrible.
I was hoping there would be a way that I could get both of the
Do you want to hear something really crazy?
third baseman.
Before I knew this was a draft, I had Wright ahead of A-Rod. From
JM's
98
really
to
excited
now.
that you took Granderson. Sorry.
Granderson's a great pull. I love Curtis.
It is.
My guy. Met and Yankee. He's just the spirit of this week.
He is. And he's a
I don't know who I'm
Marlins
putting at third base. I don't think there's another guy.
No, you got to take someone that sucks. Like the gap is gonna be. All right, I'm taking an incredible second base pull here because I really don't know if there's anyone close enough to Cano. So I got to take a guy who played it as a secondary, Alfonso Soriano.
Wow.
Second base. The fielding might suck. But no one cares about fielding.
Oh my God. All right, give me Alonso at first. He's better than Teixeira and he's better than Giambi.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
So-
Giambi. I'm gonna take Giambi here.
Damn it, Giambi is going to be my DH.
No, not getting him.
Not
Dude, I'm taking you to town right now.
Am I able to put Edgardo Alfonso? Did he ever play third? Can I throw him at third? Yes. All right. So Edgardo Alfonso will be my third baseman.
Good. That's a good pull.
He was in consideration for second base over Cano. And then I came to my senses.
I feel like I'm forced to take Jose Reyes to be my shortstop, right? Because
No, I'm going to help you out. I would go Lindor. I think Lindor
Lindor might be
is better.
yeah.
Lindor is better.
Yeah, no, it's a good catch for you. I'm taking Lindor. Good job. Thanks, Mike.
All right,
So,
this is tough. All right.
what do
I
you
gotta
have
go.
left to take?
I had a third, I have second. All I need is a catcher, another starter, and a relief pitcher.
Okay.
And we're only doing one relief pitcher, correct?
You're up right now, yeah. We're only doing one reliever.
All right.
I know who I would take reliever. We didn't even mention him before talking, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Best reliever either team's had. It's not Chapman. We talked about Chapman before. It's not Familia. It's should I tell you or no?
Tell me.
Yeah, you just I think it's Andrew Miller.
Oh no, it wasn't gonna be Miller.
I think it's Andrew. No, but I think I would take Andrew Miller based on just watching. If you're taking a Yankee, he's the best I've seen besides Rivera.
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm taking a Yankee.
Okay, who you got for the Mets there?
I might just take my guy Diaz.
Oh, Diaz. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of Diaz. That's a good one. He's better than Miller.
I might take Diaz. His primes are better than anybody. His primes are better than most guys.
Yeah.
Obviously not Mo, but you know.
That's a good.
Oh, I could go Chapman though. No, I'm going Chapman. Take that back. I forgot Chapman was available.
You think Yankee Chapman's better than Met Diaz? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me
he
Chapman.
is.
Give me
And
Chapman.
way more games played.
Yeah, give me Chapman.
I gotta
Dominance.
Dude,
Just think about this. The first pitcher I took. It's dominance.
So you have only DeGrom as a pitcher, right?
I have CC too.
And CC. All right, I'm taking Clemens, Roger Clemens.
Interesting. So I need one more pitcher. So let me just take my catcher. Obviously, it's going to be Posada. Ooh, is this? Actually, don't give me Posada yet. I don't want Posada.
Who are you taking? James McCann?
Give me Mike Mussina.
That's a good pick. Hall of Famer.
I almost went Tanaka. Yeah, stick it with Mussina.
I'm in a tough spot here.
Why?
For
What do
my
you
last
have
starting
left?
pitcher. I have a starting pitcher and center fielder left. And the last starting pitcher's bothering me a little bit between Pettit. I need a lefty. And Pettit is Yankees all-time strikeout leader. But I do think Matt Harvey was better.
Wow.
In his prime, I think Harvey was a better pitcher. So I'm in a really difficult spot right now. Because do you value career, which is easily Pettit, or best years, which Harvey?
Right.
And both were good in the postseason.
But Harvey didn't have enough time in the postseason.
No.
I think you got to go Pettit.
Yeah, you have to. For an all-time draft for this era.
I actually need a DH too, so give me 1 second.
I need a center fielder bad, and I'm struggling to find someone that's not going to completely tank my super team that I've built.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for you.
You suck, dude. You blows.
I have the best team. I don't know who to pick for DH. I don't know who my DH is. I still can't believe you just you took David Wright like that from that was brutal.
Stanton.
Stanton.
You could take any player, any position player that hasn't been drafted yet.
I know.
To be the DH.
I know, but it's a
Do you have a third baseman? Who'd you take a third?
Alfonso.
Oh, yeah.
Because you took David.
You should take Conforto. I'm just looking through Mets hits leaders. Conforto's
high on that war list, dude.
Ruben Tejada. Dude, the Mets suck, bro. I'm looking through this list. There's way too many names like that in the top 20 hits since 98.
All right, give me one of the greatest power hitters of all time, Giancarlo Stanton.
Way worse than David Wright.
Stanton's on my list.
What position do you have to take still?
I am done.
You're done.
I'm done.
How are you done and I'm not done if I had the first pick?
I don't know. I have all my guys. Bernie, Grandy, Beltran, Jeter, Alfonso, Cano, Alonso, Posada, Stanton, DeGrom, CC, Messina, Chapman.
I need a center fielder. And it's really between Nimmo and Paul O'Neill.
Not Johnny Damon?
I don't like Damon.
Well,
I don't know if it's... No, I just don't. I don't know if it's because of that funny video of him getting pulled over a few years ago, or is Brett Gardner really?
Yeah, pick Gardner,
but he wasn't better than O'Neill.
Do it. Pull the trigger.
O'Neill just played way less in this era.
I mean, you picked Soto. He hasn't even played the Mets as a Yankee yet, so
that's true. That's true. Yeah, but it's Soto, Ellsbury.
Yes.
All right, give me Gardner, man. Let's do it. Let's go. That's the end of the all-time draft.
All right, what's your team?
All right, so I'll go around the diamond. Catcher's Piazza. First base is Giambi. Second base is Alfonso Soriano. Shortstop is Lindor. Third base is A-Rod. Left field, Judge. Center field, Gardner. Right field, Soto. Pitchers, Cole, Clemens, Pettit, Mariano. DH, David Wright.
All right. My catcher's Posada. My first baseman's Alonso. Second base, Cano. Third base, Alfonso. Shortstop, Jeter. Center field, Beltran. Right field, Granderson. Left field, Bernie. DH is Stanton. My three starters, DeGrom, CC, and Mussina. And my relief pitcher, my closer, Aroldis Chapman.
All right, so we're going to post both of those on Instagram. Fans will vote. We don't get to decide, even though my team's better, we don't get to decide the winner. And whoever wins gets next week's draft's first pick. These won't always be like we did today. This is a big draft of a full team for each of us. We'll do segments that are like, best food at a ballpark or stuff like that. That's just fun, related to baseball, but not really about the game. This one for Subway Series, I had a lot of fun doing this. And I'm going to have fun seeing what you guys think about our teams once we post them. And we'll probably put a poll in the comment for you guys to just vote on which squad you like. Leave a comment about why you like them. And we'll be doing one of these every week and a trivia every week. Mike, anything else you want to touch on with the Subway Series before we wrap up here?
Nothing here. I expect some good baseball. I think low scoring because of the way I think the Yankee lineup is hit. And then obviously we haven't even mentioned the starters that are going in this series for the Yankees. Garrett Cole. And then tomorrow, Luis Gil got roughed up. He's going to be looking to bounce back big time.
Yep. So I expect a low scoring series here, both ways. I know Peterson and Manaea are not very good. The Yankees should hit them. That's not going to be the case. Breaking news from Talking Yanks, at 11:21, Aaron Boone says J.D. Davis will make his Yankees debut tonight at first base.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, if he hits a home run tonight, I am going to be unbearable at Citi Field. I will be absolutely
it's going to happen. He knows something like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
JD's going to get a big hit at some point. JD can't hit a fastball, though. Just throw a fastball hot up in the strike zone.
No, but JD's a Yankee now.
Oh, you think that's fixed?
It's different. We fixed it already. Matt Blake fixed it.
Yeah. Matt Blake, the fixer of all things.
Saw this one today, too.
For us, there wasn't a hatred of the Mets. They were just, how we looked at it was just the Mets.
Yeah.
It's just the Mets tonight. Another interleague series for the Yankees. Not really anything to worry about there. Mets World Series, not ours.
Yeah. This game does not mean any more than the Chicago series. In fact, the Chicago series is more important than this. So we'll see what happens. So I'm excited.
If we have free time this week, maybe we'll jump on and do a half-size Burrows for just to recap it if the series is that electric. If not, you'll see us next Tuesday. Mike, I'm good. We've covered everything. I hope to see you tonight at the game. I will be there. I know you're trying to get there.
Trying to get off of work in the middle of that, so we'll see what happens.
All right, so fingers crossed you'll be there. If you are, I'll see you. If not, see you next Tuesday. And everyone else, make sure to follow all things BTO Media, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure to subscribe here, like it. Let us know what you think of the video. We love feedback. On Spotify, we have the morning kickoff now on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays. That is just the morning podcast with myself. Quick 9-10 minutes every morning, recapping what happened in the night prior, talking about the night ahead. Follow the playbook for the best Yankees content on Instagram. Follow Hardline Sports Talk. Mike, new Hardline podcast this week, right? So
yes,
that's a must watch. They do great segments on there as well. So if you enjoyed our trivia and our all-time draft, then you got to go check out what Hardline's doing. Until next time, we'll see you. Thanks for watching and enjoy the Subway Series.